We're live. We are live. I can't help myself.
That was one of our. That was a little bit of a fizzer, I think, from where I was sitting.
Okay. All right. G'day, guys. How is everybody? My name's Crafty, or Craig, but everyone calls me Crafty. This is Aussie Craft Distillers Shooting the Shit. This is our little YouTube podcast, talking to people in the industry, talking to distillers, talking to people that run bars, talking to maltsters, talking to cooperers. And tonight we've got
We're not
Alex.
talking to any of those.
No, we're not. No, we're talking to Alex Dahlenburg.
I run bars. You
run bars, but you do more than run bars.
I'm still running bars.
Yeah, Todd, stop being so specific there.
I haven't left yet.
Not yet.
Right.
Alex, whiskey culture.
Jumping my grave this quick. G'day, guys. How are you?
We're good. I'm good. So we'll go around the table first. So I introduced myself. Down in the Brady bunch, down the bottom, is Luke, local nerd, distiller, brewer, whiskey lover, spirit lover, and fellow Blackgate World Whiskey Day weekend attendee. How you going, Luke? I
am good. Very good. Excited
Excellent.
to be back.
Now it's all good to be back. And then on the other Brady Bunch side is my good mate, my creative partner, the Todd, otherwise known as Todd. And Todd, you're here, which is good to see. So we're all here now. We've got to rip into it. We've got a big session. We've got 1 hour. The clock is starting. Let's go. So, Alex, what are you drinking tonight? What are you drinking? What's in your glass?
I have a Manager's Choice single cask selection from Talisker. It was bottled in 1994. Bottled in 2009 and distilled in 1994. It's 58.8%.
Right.
And there is a tiny little bit left.
Right.
It'll set the tone tonight.
She's a bit of a fancy dram, that one.
Fancy. Yeah. Well, I got something a little bit fancy, and this is Australian. So this has been in the shed for a couple of weeks now, and I must say I'm really enjoying it. So this, if I can get the label around right, is a Shiraz brandy single cask, amphibious. And this is
that's some pretty good stuff.
Drinks like a single malt. So it's what is it? It's 40% ABV, and it's beautiful. And I'm drinking in my black Glencairn glass because this really fucks with your head when you drink in a black glass.
Fair enough. That's good. Right. So it goes with the rest of your blackness.
Yes. It's a black night. What are you on, Luke? Oh, yes.
A little special.
Oh, wow, eh? Yeah,
yeah, that was a find that came out of the Black weekend, wasn't it?
It was just amazing to taste this for the first time. So this is Australia's only tequila, to say it colloquially, but it's actually known as ASP, or agave spirit, and it's all completely grown, harvested, and done all in Australia, in Narrabri, New South Wales. And it's, again, it fucks with your head because you look at it and it looks like a whiskey. Mm-hmm. It smells slightly different to a whiskey, but oh my God, it's Moorish.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's awesome. Okay, Todd, what are you on? And we'll rip into it.
I managed to get the ginger beer cask.
Oh, nice.
So this arrived in the post today, so I haven't tried it yet. So I'm just cracking the bottle now.
And you're bringing that to the shed tomorrow.
I might bring it out to the shed tomorrow, maybe.
What do you mean you might bring it out to the shed? You're not gonna drink my Hobart stuff if you don't bring that out to the shed. I got a selection of beer casks thanks to John Jarvis.
Whoa.
I'm excited. Yeah, that's exciting.
Very nice.
All right, guys, let's go. Alex.
Yes, my darling.
Who are you? Tell us who you are, where you came from, and what you're doing.
The ironic thing is, Alex is probably more well known
I know.
than the three of us put together.
I know.
Yeah.
And we're asking you, who are you?
This is
Who
for our
are you?
international followers. All two of them.
So I'm Alex. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, wow.
My name's Alex. I have worked in bars and restaurants and nightclubs and pubs since I was legally old enough to. I have a love of whiskey, which kind of took me down the road of taking on small venues, small specialty venues based in whiskey, I suppose. For the last 4.5 years, I have been working with the Speakeasy Group with Greg and Sven, who are wonderful people. And I have been running and opening venues for them. And probably the most well-known one we've opened for them is Mjolnir, which has been my baby for 4.5 years.
Which is an awesome place. I've been there a couple of times and I've never eaten so much bone marrow and enjoyed every single bit of it.
That bone luge is amazing.
Whiskey in the bone marrow.
That's the bone luge. So I was on a trip to Kentucky with Wild Turkey, and Jimmy Russell comes up to me and he's like, pick up your piece of bone. We've just eaten bone marrow in this amazing restaurant, which is just near the Meatworks in Louisville. And he's like, pick up your bone. And I was like, where's this going? Like, all the white man telling me to pick up a bone. I'm like, all right, I'm going to play with this. All right, here we go. And he's like, put it to your mouth. And I'm like, oh, shit, what the fuck is this? And there you go. That's one swear word. And he poured whiskey down the bone into my mouth. And I thought it was the greatest thing on this earth. And that's how bone leisures came to Mjolnir. So I've always wanted to have them in the restaurants. So we do it a bit differently. We flame up the bone, which actually melts down all the fats and oils in the bone that's left over from the marrow. And then while it's still hot, we pour the whiskey down the bone and into your mouth, and the whiskey collects all the fats and the oils and the juiciness of the marrow. And we do it with Highland Park 12, which was the one that was actually best matched doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
It makes a lot of sense too, because those fats and proteins and all that, it changes the consistency of the whiskey. As it's going through, the mouthfeel changes quite dramatically. Yeah. It enhances the whole experience. No, that's really cool.
So that's one of the cool things we do at Mjolnir. For those of you at home that don't know what Mjolnir is, it is a Viking den in Redfern. It's down the stairs past a beautiful Viking ship and into another world. We specialize in meats, mostly served on the bone, and vegetables that are absolutely amazing. Taking you back to, like, we like to say traditional Scandinavian methods served in a modern way. So what would Thor be drinking if he was on Earth at the moment? Drinking, eating. Yeah. So we've got some pretty cool booze on the back bar that I'm really proud of. I'm actually leaving the company very soon, and I think that's the thing I'm most sad of, is leaving that whiskey collection.
Yeah.
How often do you just have a little sneaky taster?
I don't. No, because that's breaking the rules. I can't enforce the rules if I break the rules. So I'm very by the book.
Is there a bottle that's on the back shelf there that you will be particularly sad to sort of wave goodbye to and just give a little pat and a stroke as you walk out the door?
There are a couple of bottles. Obviously, we did I'll miss the Mjolnir Highland Park collaboration. There's only a couple of hundred bottles left in Australia of that. So once that's done and dusted. But we actually received the entire last bottling by Samaroli. So the whole collection. So he's an Italian bottler, independent bottler.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So we had the whole collection. And the reason why I have this at home is because we got told that with the bottles, when they're empty, which this one is now, we need to smash them. Purely because collectors will pay a lot of money for the bottles to then fill them up and sell them as originals.
Wow.
So I have one to smash, and I think that's going to be my farewell when I get home on the 11th of June. Is I'm going to smash this bottle.
Sounds
So-
like something you should do around a fire and
Well, I can definitely have a fire in the backyard here.
some sacrificial drums and
Yeah.
make it around the fire to then smash the bottle.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, who wasn't naked under the blood moon last night?
Oh,
It was too freaking cold.
So I put a poll up on my Instagram, basically saying who was naked and drinking whiskey under the blood moon last night. I now have a list of all the naked people that were running around last night in their backyards being creepers, just like me. I have a list, and I know who you all are now.
if only Google Earth did really good night shots.
Oh man, that would have been hilarious. That would have been very funny, actually. No,
It
to
was
Google Earth.
It was
pretty cool.
spectacular. We so out of Caperty, so it was cloudy, and then it cleared.
It cleared so perfectly.
It did, yeah, and it was a freezing night though last night. But when the eclipse came through, it was just total darkness. It was really a surreal experience, to be honest. But the red moon, the blood moon, that was there's some very cool photos around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, some gorgeous photos from everywhere.
Yeah.
So apart from running bars, my daddy's farmer. He's a barley farmer. He's growing everything. I remember corn harvest, rice harvest, all of that from when I was a tiny little girl.
Wow.
So he's a farmer. I love getting back home. I consider myself a country girl. I drive across the Harbour Bridge every day with my cowboy boots on, blasting Luke Combs. And that's my kind of fuck you to being in the city. There's two. I live in Sydney, and I love having the best of both worlds. And I really believe that I do. I get the best out of the city, and I get the best out of the country.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So there are two very distinct sides to Alex. There's the country Alex, and there's the...
I think they're all the same.
They're all the same. You bring the country into the bars?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just get a bit lippy with me around a table, or get a bit drunk around a table and see how the country girl throws down. I bring it to every aspect of my life. I mean, I did some jillarooing in the top end of Queensland, and that really changed me as a person when I was 18 years old. So I didn't quite come back the same little Northern Beaches girl I was when I left. And I think that definitely changes me. The perspective that I get from the country and the land from my dad and my previous experiences is huge. And I think that does bring a lot of perspective. I have.
In the country, you're
top in Queensland,
on the farm, you're over in the US, and just where
Scotland.
haven't you been yet? Where haven't you been?
I haven't done Japan yet.
Haven't done Japan.
No, so that's been very high on my list. I've done lots of the States, lots of Scotland, Ireland. I really need to get to Japan. That's my next exciting escape that I will have. Yeah. But I've been trying to mix it up between whiskey trips and like personal trips, except they tend to now kind of intertwine, and I can't get away from whiskey because it's just so much of a passion now.
Yeah.
That's it. How do you not go away? How do you go away and not go to a distillery nearby?
Oh, I went to one of my best friend's weddings in New Zealand, and I was like in the bridal party. And I was kind of like, hey guys, I'm just going to have an afternoon off. Went and found a distillery. So, it does.
Which one was it, Alex? Which one? in NZ?
I didn't get in; they were closed.
Oh,
So I found a nice winery instead, though.
Yeah.
And then I took myself up in a helicopter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Was that around the Milford Sound area?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good helicopter ride, that one.
Yeah, it is.
Love
I
it.
couldn't go on the glacier because of the weather conditions, but they got me up a big, beautiful mountain and flew me around. I just couldn't land. So,
Cardrona.
Cardrona.
Yeah.
I drove past it.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. It's I don't know if you know, Alex. Originally I still am. I'm a Kiwi.
Oh shit, that explains a lot.
Yeah, it does. But there's a distillery in a little wee town on the west coast of the South Island where I spent a lot of time as a child, called Reefton. And Reefton's always been a really just cool spot. I mean, it's the first time alcohol ever touched my lips. A lot, you know, what do you call it?
As a child.
Yeah, I wasn't a child.
Well, you started the story off as when I was a child and visited.
When I was younger. But it was, when you do the lock-ins and that. So this was in the lock-in days of Reefton. But anyway, Reefton's got a distillery. It's really, really cool. I just love the idea of a distillery in Reefton and thinking, man, I got to get back there and just go to Reefton, walk down all the streets. I know the history, I know the place, and to see a distillery, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And it leads to my question I've got. You've got a real connection with the land, right? You understand the grains, you understand the farming, and you have a real connection with Australian distillers, craft distillers. I mean, there's not too many craft distillers that you don't know and have some sort of relationship with. What do you like? What's appealing to you about what's going on in Australia in the craft distilling space?
I'm just so proud of us all. I'm proud of all of you because it's really hard starting a distillery. It's really hard in Australia with taxes and all the money that you got to pay. And you're all mums and dads distillers and you're giving it a go. And I think that that's the Australian spirit is I'm going to make something and we're creating an industry. And that's one of the things that I'm super proud of. And to talk and be part of any of that and get to see you guys and meet you guys. Cause I'm a bit of a fangirl of distillers. Always have been. You guys do the good work. Thank you. So I'm really proud of the industry that is growing. Obviously, it started a couple of years ago. But the way it's growing, it's looking so healthy and happy. And I really feel that we're actually going to make a great shot and put a huge dent in the world of whiskey.
Oh, that's so cool. Hey, I just saw a comment. You'll love this. So there's a guy called Ned Gahan who's head distiller of Waterford Distillery in Ireland. Yeah. And Ned is a good friend of ours. We shot the shit with him for 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a deep dive into Waterford and what they're up to and that. And Ned loves what's happening in Australia and what we're doing. We were trying to do a hookup at Blackgate, the World Whiskey Weekend, but we couldn't pull it off, unfortunately. So, Ned, it's good to see you on, mate. It's good to see you on, and we still don't have Waterford in Australia, mate. We're still waiting patiently. It's bring it. We're waiting. It's such a fantastic story.
Hi, Ned. G'day. How you doing? And hi, Mum.
Your mum's everywhere.
Oh, it's just like you, Crafty, with your entourage. My mum, my grandma, they're all on everything I do.
You've got to have your fan club. Got to have your fan club.
Yeah, because you're my number one. You got to look after your number one fan.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to. We've got a new segment, which is we call it. What do we call it? 2 seconds or 5 seconons? 5 seconds of fame or 2 seconds?
I think
it gets shorter every time, and we've only done it twice.
Well, it's probably 2 seconds. It's never been particularly successful.
Can you see the panic on my face right now?
No, you're okay. You're okay. It's the Brady Bunch character.
This one here that's going to be a bit panicked.
He's getting 2 seconds of fame, and here we go. 2 seconds of fame, the Todd, and go. What's your question? Come on, we've rehearsed this.
We did. Just all these faces. Okay, so my question is, what do you look for in a whiskey or a spirit when you're out there looking for stuff to put on the bar? What grabs your attention?
That's a good question.
I know this is going to sound really arrogant and saying it's if I like it. Does that make sense? I mean, you can say that I like complexity and I like a dense spirit and a viscous spirit, but it's if I like it. And I think that's a really terrible thing to say, but I have such a large range of whiskies that I love. And I'm not just focused on cask strength, and which we have some cask strength monsters in Australia. And I mean people monsters, not whiskey monsters. Yeah, I'm going that way. It really just comes down to if I like it. Now, I like most whiskey. I also am very, very aware that I have customers in that are going to love it as well. Or what I like, they may not. So there'll be some whiskies that I'll be like, but that'll be a great entry whiskey. Or we can shift someone from, say, single malt over to a grain whiskey with that. Or I can shift someone from a single malt to an American whiskey with that. So a lot of it is when we're building back bars, it's about a journey. And one, if I like it, and two, if I can place it in a journey somewhere for one of the customers.
Awesome.
Is that all right?
No, that was a fantastic answer.
It's basically if I like it or not.
So if you're, I would imagine you get a lot of new whiskey lovers or people who hadn't previously enjoyed a whiskey, or they had a bad experience with any of the bad men, Jack, Jim, Johnny.
Do not talk about my boyfriends like that.
You're out of here.
Bad experience.
Jack, Jim, Johnny, Jose, they're all my men. And do not talk about them like that.
All right. So if you've had people who have had a bad experience and they're wanting to get into whiskey, or they've just never drunk it, they've never had a dark spirit, where do you start them on their journey? Is there somewhere that you're like, this is a good entryway into it?
I have two different ways. One, we shove it down their throat either via the Mjolnir hammer or a bone luge, or I ask the question. It's an easy way of going, hey, do you want to try whiskey? Yep, cool. We're just putting it down in an experience. And then it links whiskey to an experience. And when we all talk about, like, everyone asks that question, what's your favorite whiskey memory? You remember that whiskey that you were drinking because of that memory. So a lot of that time, them drinking either Balvenie 14-year-old Caribbean cask out of the hammer, or drinking Highland Park 12-year-old through a piece of bone. They're going to remember that moment and that experience. But the other thing is I also start them where, what flavor profiles do you like? What do you like in, say, what spirit do you usually like? And we go from there. So do you like sweet? Do you like salty? Do you like earthy? Yeah, and then you go from there. It's the same thing with cocktails. When someone looks at our list, which is, we've got 20 cocktails that are all house creations. They're all based loosely off classic, because that's most of the way we build lists in all bars. What classics do you like? And that's a really good start to get someone in. It's the same thing with whiskey. What have you tried? What haven't you tried? What do you like? And then you start building it from there. Do you like fruity? Do you like dark chocolate? Do you like red fruits? And do you like herbal? So another thing is you can take it back to tea or coffee.
Yeah.
So there's a whole flavor wheel to work with. You've generally got 5 main flavors. And if you start there and you find the one they do, then you can do your offshoots in that flavor wheel that we all see so many times. And that's one of the greatest ways to build an experience for someone. It generally takes me 2 or 3, probably 2 to get a whiskey. I haven't had to go 3 in a while for someone that hasn't had whiskey to turn around and go, holy shit, I actually drank that. I can drink that. And there you go. That's 3 swear words. So it's pretty. I've had girlfriends, like my girls that aren't in the industry. They're actually all surprised when I hand them a whiskey and go, right, so drink this. But one of the biggest things you need to do is teach them how to drink it. Because most of those bad experiences are from someone going, here, like one of the old people in the family going, hey, have a whiskey, it'll put hair on your chest. And they neck it down, they get the fumes in their face, and it becomes a negative experience. So we need to teach them how to breathe in and breathe out, roll it across your tongue, swallow as you breathe out. And there's a whole heap of different ways that you can show them how to do it. Also, nosing a glass will get your brain ready for the alcohol content. And it sets your olfactory center up for it. And that is one of the biggest things we can teach them. Sniff it 4 times before you drink it. That is the basic thing that I give them. And then sip slowly.
Yeah, basically slow down. I'll give you a little story. You'll love this, Alex. So I had a 95-year-old woman that was in my shed.
Did you get my grandma?
No, that's why I'm telling you, because
she's 95.
I think I could think there'd be a relationship here. You relate to this. So this little old lady comes in, right, with her family, and she goes, "Okay, would you like to try whiskey?" And she goes, "No, dear, I don't drink whiskey." And it's like, oh, okay. I convinced her. I said, "Can I give you just a little wee, small amount, right? And just put it in your mouth, right? And forget it's whiskey. Just think about what taste sensations there are, and do you like it or not?" And she did that. It was 62.7%. Right? She held it in her mouth for a while. She swallowed it, and then she went, "That's really good. I really like that." And then I said, "Well, that's a whiskey, and that's actually a cask strength whiskey. It's basically straight out of the barrel." And you could see her brain was connecting everything, and she basically was all excited, and she goes, "Well, I'm going to go off and start to explore whiskeys now at 95."
Get it, girl.
Yeah. So when people do that, we have those sort of experiences in the shed.
Todd, it could have gone both ways, though, Crafty. You gave her 60-something% alcohol on her first taste. And
I was very, very careful how I did it with. It was a very, very small amount. It was just like a bit on the tongue sort of thing. But and Todd, you've had similar experiences in the shed. You know, people come in and you walk them through it. And the first thing you do is, one of the things I find is some people are really embarrassed, and you'd find this too, I imagine, Alex, in the bar. They go, "I don't know anything about whiskey. I don't know what to ask for." And you got to break through that, bullshit. It's like, forget about that. There's no right or wrong way. It's just let's just have an experience and see where it goes.
Well, we created an app as our whiskey menu. For our restaurant, for all of our restaurants and bars, so they each have one, and it is live at all times with what bottles are on the back bar. Sometimes we'll get caught out in service that there might be one that we burn, and then it's still on the list. But through that, you can actually go through your full flavor wheel, take you through our favorites, so the ones that we top pick, and then you can browse up to 500, or say Boilermaker House in Melbourne, 1,000 whiskies on that app. And that is actually how, and we've got catalogued nearly 2,800 whiskies in that app database. You can even go into some distillery facts on some of them, the ones that we do have the stills facts for. So from that app, I feel that because of how comfortable everyone is with technology, even my 95-year-old grandma who teaches computer classes to old people, yeah, good on her. People are very comfortable with technology right now. So handing them that app, rather than looking at a whiskey back bar and them not knowing where to even start with all the labels, they sit there and they'll play with it. And they'll work out where they want to go and flavor profiles and, let's look at the the geographical map and scroll through America or in Scotland. And that's, I think, been a great way of approaching whiskey where we are.
Because that's a interesting thing whenever I've gone into a whiskey bar and you see the wall of bottles and labels that you can't really see them in the dark mood lighting of the bar. They all look intriguing, but how do you you can't pick them? So then how would I'm a new distiller. I've got my whiskey. I want to put it into a bar. How do I stand out amongst the crowd?
There's one simple answer to all of this. Get your bartenders knowing what the hell they have on their back bar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if I walk into a whiskey bar and it's dark and it's dingy, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up to a bartender and I'm going to go, what's new? What are you excited about right now?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You've always got to trust that bartender, especially if you're daunted with a whiskey experience. They sit there and I talk about cask strength monsters. We have what I call knowledge monsters in the bar industry. And some of these people, myself included in this, have been so obsessed with the liquids on our back bar that we know every single thing. So sometimes we get into distilleries and we know more facts about the distillery than the person taking us through a distillery. So get hold of your bartenders. That'll put a personal connection with it. Two, they'll know where to guide you. They'll know what they're excited about. They'll also give you the stuff that, for example, distillers and brand ambassadors have taught them of where it works best or who it would work best with. So the first thing you do, even if you have a brand to put on a back bar, you walk in and you let a bartender try it. And you talk to the bartender about it. And I know this sounds shit, but you sell it to a bartender and they're going to move that liquid on your back bar. Or you take them to distilleries across all the world, and then I spend a whole time talking about those brands.
So you're a great way to get your spirit on a bar.
Oh, absolutely. But it's the same thing with when we get sent samples and all that sort of stuff. I can get a box of samples, and they're great and they're wonderful. But I want to talk to the distiller.
You want connection.
I want a connection. I want to know who the hell's making that. Yeah. And I remember when we were talking about the wattle seed through 78 degrees, one of the brand ambassadors brought it into me. And I'm sitting there going, when's the wattle seed put into the mash? What's the percentage? I'm asking all of these questions, and they didn't quite know. But what was the greatest thing that brand ambassador did? He picked up the phone and he called the distiller.
Yep.
And put me on with the distiller straight away going, I can't handle her questions, but hang on. He didn't tell me what it was, and he didn't tell me how he did it. So, but that was cool. So I'd still sell that stuff because it's such a great story around it. And I had that connection. I got to talk to that person. And I think a lot of it is coming down to talking with your distillers and teaching your bartenders. Just walk straight up, they'll guide you. That's their job.
Last week when you interviewed on Whiskey Roundtable, Chewy, and he was in deep dive mode.
Okay.
And you were just there just going. And
I'm just sitting there, I'm clapping him.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
It was an awesome experience. It was.
Here's the thing with Chewy, right?
He was deep diving. It was great.
I know, and the other boys were like, oh, that's kind of going over my head. And I'm just like, fucking bring it, Chewy. 3 swear words. So I have, get your buzzer ready, mate.
I'm too slow. So I'm just keeping track.
I'm just like a ninja swear attack monster. So Chewy, or Stuart Morrow, is the perfect example of a bartender. He has run the world's greatest whiskey bar, as I say it, which is Baxter's, for so long. And if anyone watched that live, that man deserves his place in all of the awards that he's won, in all of the reasons why Baxter's has won all those awards, and why he's doing what he is right now. Because that level of knowledge I don't think there's many people around that have that level of knowledge. And he is absolutely phenomenal. So when he sat there and spat all that he did the other day, my face was just like, get it, son. Like, that is amazing. I wanted to give him a standing ovation because that's what we need to see. I don't think we need to see more of it because we've got quite a few people that are very opinionated, but the way he presented that was just from a pure knowledge base, and he studies so hard. So I've come bridesmaid to Stewie for quite a few years, so I'm glad he kind of left the bar industry. But no, he's definitely someone I really look up to, especially with where he is now.
Cool. Hang on, before we go any further, so Rachel McNeil, a very good friend of ours, she said, need to go, guys. She's met you virtually, Alex. That is someone, if you two get together, I think you'd have a great time. She's passionate about what she does. She's on Isla, and she runs the Isla Whiskey Academy.
Oh, wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
I love Isla. Isla's
she's
been one of my favourite places in the world.
fiercely independent Scotland. I just thought I'd throw that in, Rachel, just spread the word.
Yeah. Spreading a long way tonight.
Yeah. No, we are actually. We've had Ned from Ireland. We've had Rachel from Scotland. That's great.
We definitely have a multinational audience at the moment. So it's
we've got John Jarvis. He's trying to chime in as well. he's there, John, our mate. And we got Rosemary from Black Snake Distillery out of Narrabri that we were talking about. That Luke's drinking tonight.
Yeah. Love it.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to meet Rosemary the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So let's talk about that because we're in an exclusive little club. We're in the Blackgate World Whiskey Day Experience Club, and you experienced it for the first time, Alex. I think it was my third one. I missed it last year. What was your take on the whole night and morning? What did you think of that experience?
I had the greatest time.
Yeah.
I had the greatest time, and I am bringing an entourage next year.
Yeah.
And also, with all love and respect, I'm going to swear, but it's not really a swear word. You old bastards don't dance. That band was great, and I wanted to get up and dance. I'd had some whiskey. There's some stars above my head. There's some fires around. There's a pig on the bit. Beautiful band.
Yeah.
And no one danced. I'm just going to kick the legs out from your chairs next year.
I'm a white guy. I've got the rhythm.
Yeah.
Wobble board. That's about it.
Just keep it here. That's the hitch joke, right?
My daughter's 11, and so Todd and I are sort of playing, and I mean playing, on the fringe of TikTok right now. Just little videos in that. And I was talking to Abby. Yeah, I know. I've been advised it's a good idea. But anyway, I
have a TikTok.
Do you? All right. Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. So Abby said, "How many followers you got?" And I go, 4, and that's including Todd. So
really 3.
You look at some of the dances that these people are doing nowadays. These younger people. Fuck me. How do they move like that? There's none of this going on. It's I don't know what it is.
You haven't delved deep enough in TikTok if you were still watching dances.
No, look, like I said, we're right on the edge. It's like 1 foot in, oop, out.
Yeah, it's a dangerous track for you with TikTok at the moment.
Well, what's on yours? What was your last tick or talk?
Oh, I follow so many cowboys and meat and whiskey. Like Distiller Chris from Nonesuch has like 200,000 followers or something.
I know,
like
he's
that.
gone nuts. He's gone crazy.
So there's a couple of distillers, there's a couple of whiskey people, all the cowboys. I like farm talk, witch talk. That's a little bit of fun. But yeah, so I can't believe I'm talking about fucking TikTok. But yeah, it's just if you're still watching the like dancers thing, Crafty, you got to go further. Put in some hashtags.
Started.
Yeah, stop liking all the girls in bikinis, man.
No, it's not me. It's Whisker. I'm there for Chris. I follow Chris, and Chris is everywhere on TikTok. And I really love how he explains things to people, and he's doing a fantastic job. He really is.
Well, I did talk to him about going on Whiskey Roundtable just before he was leaving, just before he was moving house, and then he had the baby and all of that. But I'd love to get him on just to see how social media has changed his life.
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
Massive.
Man,
and
he's gonna run out of whiskey soon.
Well.
Sorry?
Rex is on as well now.
Yeah.
His dad.
I can't deal with the hate and the bullshit that goes on social media too much. I tend to post a photo and walk the fuck away from it. And I don't care about people say, oh yes, of course you care. But I don't have a lot of followers. I like posting my stuff and my life, and if you want to come along for the ride, go for it. But the hate that goes on social media is just, especially in some of the groups, it really upsets me. And we just don't need that. And it stops people putting themselves out there. And I mean, I don't talk about my TikTok because it's basically a reflection of my Instagram with some of the videos and all of that. There's no dancing, Crafty. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Under a blood moon.
Under a blood moon. No, that stuff won't go on Instagram. Hell no. It definitely gets kept clean. Thank you. I'm a female in whiskey. You can't do that and keep really incredibly professional if you're getting it out on Instagram. So there's no. Actually, I lie. There is one naked photo on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a barley field.
Okay, and the lighting
sounds very arty.
You can't see shit. So you can just see someone with their arms up, and I'm way down the paddock, butt-ass naked. My partner took the photo of me. So there is a nudie photo, but it is you can't see anything. You just see this white out of this green field. So, yeah.
A white butt.
No, it's whole white. Are you kidding me? I've been buried in a basement at Mjolnir for 4.5 years. There is no timelines here.
People have already found it.
Oh, James saw it when I posted it. And yes, the boots are on. But yeah, look, I hate the hate online. It's one of the things that I can't stand. We all have opinions. What do they say? We all have opinions like assholes. Yeah. So if you like it, share it. If you don't like it, shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Look, I'll give you a good example of what you're talking about. So with the recent budget, there was an announcement on excise relief for and it's a great thing for the industry, right? And the idea behind it is to grow the industry. So, if I take, for example, where we are at Craftworks, we have a part-time cellar door, which basically revolves around me and Todd. Or Todd does all the work. All right. That's what he thinks.
I've been there now, Crafty. I know how shit operates.
I was busy.
You don't have to be around the shed too long, really, do you?
No,
I was there a lot longer than Crafty was.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't give you a broom and tell you to start working.
Let me get back.
Sorry, Crafty.
Let me get the post. So the post was Bill Lark on the front of a newspaper article saying this is great for the industry, right? And it was a really nice piece. 75% of the posts are attacking distillers and saying, well, now you can lower your prices and now you can go into bigger bottles. And it was just brutal. And nothing had actually officially been announced by the government at that point. And it was like, guys, slow down. This is about trying to build a sustainable business and grow a business. And like for us, for example, this now means that we can actually probably employ people. We can employ someone local to run the cellar door, so I can stay on my phone. I can continue to talk to people, and Todd can have a break. That's what it's about. So,
absolutely. I mean,
we're just
the whole description in those groups gives the kind of guesswork what it should be. We're talking Appreciation Society, Lovers Australia.
Yeah.
We're not talking Haters Australia.
No.
We're not talking about not appreciating Australia.
Agree.
And this is the thing. You don't see it being industry people. And this is where I ask consumers that we love your opinion. We want your feedback. But these are people's livelihoods. These are people that are out there giving it a go, trying to make some beautiful fucking whiskey for you to drink. Yeah. If you don't like it, then keep it to yourself. You missed that swear word, Luke. I'm disappointed in you.
No, I didn't.
He's typing now.
But everyone's trying to make some great whiskey. If you don't love it, someone else might love it. So I think that the working word is in the title. Appreciation, lovers.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I agree. It's a conversation I have with fellow distillers, and we look at it and we go, "What the fuck?" You know, we're whiskey appreciators. We're whiskey lovers. So we get that side of it. And when things just go feral, you go, "This is not what it's about. It doesn't make sense."
I just realized you're putting my swears up.
That's when Crafty got one up.
Hit the buzzer. Come on, 6 swears. Come on. Where's your sound effect? You downloaded it tonight.
I tried.
Are you ready? Do you want me to do it for you?
Go for it. Go.
Where's the thing?
Yeah.
You ready? Okay.
I'm ready. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to do it.
Neither was I. Sorry, Mum. Because I know she's still watching. Yeah, look, it's the same thing in all industries. It's not just whiskey. It's the same thing with online. I just think that you should behave online like we would behave in person. Now, if you're a right dick in person, there you go, put that to 7. If you're if you're a lovely, not nice person in person, then I get it. But I think that we need to stay off computers, and if we're sharing our positive experiences, and if you don't like it, then I don't think that we need to share that stuff.
Why
because
can't we all just get along?
Why can't we all just be nice? And do you know what? You can turn around and say that whiskey's not for me, which is exactly what it is. It's not for you. But I guarantee you I've probably liked it. I mean, you don't like Jack, and I got you in trouble for that. I'm like collecting Jack at the moment. But that's just how I feel. I also feel that we have some, as I mentioned before, cask strength monsters in Australia. And for the future of Australia, I'd love to see that not be so cask strength, but that also means that we need to get our stores up, because that is not going to happen with all this single cask release. And that's where we are in our infancy.
It's an evolution. It's an absolute evolution.
Not many distilleries can release core releases.
No.
So this is the start. And I know that our start's been going for 20 years, 20-something, 30 years.
But
math's not my strong point after some Talisker. But we're still in our infancy. So when we start getting to people expanding, and I think these tax breaks is where people need to realize that's not going to drop the price of whiskey. It's going to mean that we can actually build an industry.
I agree.
And if you're worried about your hip pocket, there's some cheap, wonderful whiskies for you. And I believe that a lot of distilleries are releasing smaller bottles so everyone can actually get a taste. That's a really cool thing to do.
There's a lot of experimentation going on too, which I personally love. You know, I'm personally more influenced by what's going on in America than what's going on in Scotland. I started with a Scottish drinking scotch, and that opened my eyes, and I went down the rabbit hole. And there are some really interesting things going on in Scotland, but America and how they've taken, how craft brewers en masse have gone, we've got a brewery, fuck me, we just need a still and we can make whiskey. And they've got a deep appreciation of the malts and a deep appreciation of fermentation, and apply that. Yeah, I know. Westwood's stout cask. I love it. Absolutely love it.
That there, this one, this bottle.
Oh, yeah.
This one.
Good.
It's actually one of the first bottles that was ever brought to Australia, and it came in a suitcase. So this was even before it was released. That's the American 750 ml bottle.
Nice.
Wow.
So I don't know. I want to open it, but I'll kind of keep it.
Hold it up to the camera. Show it off.
Oh, it's just that way.
They have really nice branding too, don't they?
Sorry?
They have really nice branding. Like
They've just changed the branding now. The bottles are really swish now. But I do have a lot of that. I even have their rum cask, which I haven't opened yet, but I tried in the distillery. It was amazing. But I agree with you, Crafty, on the American single malt scene.
Yeah.
I think, like Scotland, the bourbon scene is fairly tied up. But what they're doing with single malt over there is pretty fucking exciting.
Yeah, it is.
I'm up to 8 now. Can you keep up, Luke, please?
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Luke,
you have to be reminded about how many. You're not doing your job right.
Todd is now the official swearer keeper.
Well,
right?
I've got no control over putting things up. You've got
you can make noises with your mouth.
Add another one to myself then.
Todd, can you go auga? Just go auga for a second.
Auga?
There we are. That's the sound every time someone swears. Todd's got
another job. Great.
You got 2 segments now. You've got your 2 seconds of fame question, and you're now the official soundboard.
By the next episode, I'll be down to 1 second of fame, by the way, because it started off at 7, I think.
So the way I see it, I've got the highest number on there. That means I win.
Winner!
And the prize is
chicken dinner.
The prize is you actually have an engagement which you've got to head off to. I
do. I am going to a very fancy whiskey event tonight at 9:00 at some swanky hotel in Surrey Hills. It's for the launch of Grand Cru, which is the new Glenfiddich.
Yeah, nice.
With my WBFF, which is my whiskey BFF, Ross Blaney. So I am off to an event, but I can take one last question if you got one.
All right. Well, let's turn it over to Todd. Todd, on the spot.
Todd, the bus again.
What is it, Todd? Go.
What can you say to Crafty to make him swear?
It doesn't do much.
Hey, Crafty, put some water in your whiskey.
No, this is no. Oh, okay. Hold on. 2 seconds.
I know what I can say, but you guys took it off topic.
Work in progress, but we think it's going to be around there.
I can't say that.
No, you can't.
I am 54.5%.
54.5.
Crafty, it needs more water.
No, it doesn't.
Crafty, it needs more water.
Didn't work.
It didn't work.
No, not yet.
Well,
not yet. Maybe I am 3, but we've got to get really creative on the naming of 3.
Okay. Question for you: Have you done tastings at 46%?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. We have a release Capity which is 47%. That's our cellar door.
Mm-hmm.
That's our entry. Try this. It'll give you a taste of Craftworks. We will go lower. A lot depends on the casks and the flavour profile and what we're trying to achieve. But I personally, 50 to 54 is where I like to float. Fuck. Okay. 3 hours for.
Did I just achieve, Todd?
Yeah, you did. I just swore. Come on.
Did I just achieve that? I did.
You did.
Yes.
You did.
I'm joking, Crafty. I love your whiskey the way it is. I'm serious. I just knew that would wind you up. Your cast strength one stuff.
Thank you.
He does like it strong.
Yeah.
All right, you got to go, Alex.
I do. I just want to say a big thank you to you guys taking me in during Blackgate. The distillery.
It was a pleasure.
That was so lovely. Your whole family, everyone just took me in, and I had such a wonderful time with you guys and getting to know you all really well. And I really appreciate it because you guys made my experience. I mean, Janice and Brian, like the way that I was put up and everything was just beyond. But you guys made that. I had a room. I didn't have to sleep in a tent. I was treated like quite the princess. But I just want to say thank you for you guys taking me in. And I loved that. It was just such a wonderful time. You have such a great crew around you. And I met the amazing support, the Crafty support crew. And you're all wonderful. And I just want to say a big thank you. And thanks for having me on. I know I'm not a distiller, but I am a distiller fangirl. And I'm going distilling. Sorry?
You're a mover and groover.
I'm a mover and groover. I'm just fucking tired. That's what I am. But yeah, I'm off distilling.
Ooga. That was
I'm off distilling. So I'll be off distilling at Kalara in Hobart for a little bit.
You're going down to see Christy and you're doing
Dark Mofo, and she's doing whiskey at the moment. So I'll get to play with the stills, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, hopefully the next time we see you will be in the shed, Alex. Come on down back to the shed.
Only a couple of hours to use, so that's not hard.
That's not
unachievable.
The main thing is just Crafty being there when you get there.
No, I'll hand over to Todd. Todd does all the work, supposedly.
Todd, do you want me to come work for you for a day?
Oh, yes, please. Come and help me this weekend. I've got a lot of stuff to do this weekend.
Yeah, shit, Todd. You've got a lot to do, mate. You better hurry up.
So he's going to be out the back talking to someone, and I'll be in the shed.
I've got a new phone, an iPhone 12. It does so much more.
So imagine how much time it's going to take for him to learn that this weekend.
We already got a preview of that before we went on live. Guys, thank you so much for letting me shoot the shit with you.
All right, see you around, Alex.
Done. Love to you, Andrew. I know you're just coming on.
And he says you've got a gig.
Take care, guys.
Youngie's on.
You're around, Alex.
Bye.
See ya.
All right, we've got a special guest, but he needs to turn his camera on. Youngie, you need to turn your camera on, mate. We can't see you.
See the top of his head again?
No, we're seeing nothing here. No, none of that.
No.
All right, are you there?
He's there somewhere.
Andrew,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. There you are.
We can't see you. Bugger.
How the hell?
Bugger sums it up. Turn your camera on, mate.
Oh, mate, how do I do that? No idea.
And I'll pass you on to local nerd.
You hit the camera button.
Yep. Okay, I'm hitting it.
Yeah, you got him?
Do you have a camera?
Yeah. Yeah. I've got steam power. Maybe I'm not swearing enough. Look, okay.
That's all right. We will imagine you.
All right. Let's do that, hey?
Okay, so guys, the reason why Andrew's on, so Andrew is a good friend of me personally. There he goes, I think.
There we go. Very briefly, we've got a circle. That's a good start.
It sort of looks like Andrew.
Yeah, he's a bit bigger.
So Andrew is I class him as one of my mentors. Andrew and I talk a lot about casks, and we're doing some interesting projects coming forward. And I've got a lot of Andrew's super casks, and they're a foundation for I Am, which is one of our releases. But the reason why Andrew is on is because Andrew is a big supporter of our channel, Aussie Craft Distillers Shooting the Shit. And yep, he's offered something which is very, very special. Andrew runs a day in the cooperage. For those who don't know, Andrew is a master cooper, has a cooperage at the back of Stepfield's winery, and he's been in the industry for a long time. So Andrew does experiences at the shed, at the cooperage, and he has offered us one free day for someone at the cooperage You walk away with a barrel that you have personally made, and you learn a lot about wood and coopering skills. And he's offered it to us at Aussie Craft Distillers Shooting the Shit, and we're taking that as a prize. That's worth $2,000, people, $2,000. So it's not insignificant. He's offered it to us, and so we've said, okay, if we can get our channel up to 800 followers, once we do that, we will select one person and they will be given that prize. But there's a bit more to it than that. So, Andrew, you there, mate?
Yeah. So, I'm Crafty, guys. Everyone, I'm bloody excited. But so, can I swear? Get the swear jar up. Get it happening.
Yeah, go fucking
go
nuts.
for it, mate. Go for it.
Oh, fuck it. That's good. Okay, we're off to a good start. Okay, so you boys are coming over for Cooper for a day. You've already announced that prize. That's all locked in. We're ready to go. You've got some bloody nerd there by the name of Luke. Is that right, Crafty?
Yeah, he's a bit of a nerd. Yeah.
Do we break it to him?
Yeah, do it, mate.
Luke, you listening?
Yes.
Yeah, brother, you're gonna have to muscle up, son, because you're part of the package on that day.
Whoa.
You're coming to the Cooperage. You're part of the package that day. So eat your Wheaties, son. Get the sweat happening. You'll be coming over. We're going to show you what a real Cooperage is about. You'll have a lot of fun. You're going to meet a top chef, Owen Andrews. I'll explain to you why I particularly use a chef in my barrel industry. A chef understands flavour. He's left field and he's right on it. And don't you smile too much, Todd, because you're gonna have to sweat it out too when you come over. So
I want to get one free.
Yeah, that's right, boys. Yeah, we've had a hell of a week. We've had a hell of a week this week. We are so bloody excited. You wouldn't believe it. When it rains, it pours. I'll give you an example. This week we found, or when I say found, we're pretty excited. You can probably tell by my voice. A local here in the Barossa Valley has come to me, and they've got not one set, 3 full sets of coopering tools. They were originally in the family. One still wrapped in brown paper, never seen the light of day. That's 3 sets. We've just done some filming with Carbotech Australia, with an alliance there for people that want to make their own barrels in the future.
Saw that.
And now the biggest news of all that we're happy with, we did some filming with the South Australian government to support the craft whiskey industry and the alcohol industry in general. That gets released on Tuesday. The state government are happy, and now we don't want to say too much yet, but the feds are now interested. So we're going to take this thing Australia-wide, and we're really, really happy. So incremental steps, and every step we take, we're doing it slowly, but it'll be done properly. So
it sounds good. It's an exciting time. You must be excited about what's going on in the industry.
Well, we're excited, and we know there's going to be more cooperages that come on the line, and I wouldn't be at all surprised in the next 5 years if there's another 4 or 5 startups, and we're going to be here to support those guys. We don't care if it's black or blue. We're here to support the whole industry. We've got as I said, we've got Rodney Schultz. So when you boys come over, and you'll be working with Rodney, and just him alone, 52 years in the trade, boys. 52 years. Yeah. The guy is a gun, absolute gun.
Yeah.
That's
now,
amazing.
What's good and what people need to appreciate is this sort of thing is great for the industry, because the idea of apprenticeships and getting back to having cooperages with apprentices and things, this is a growth industry. This is an exciting industry. And as a craft distiller, I can tell you firsthand, we hold so much in what we do, respect and understanding of working with the cooperers. If we don't have good cooperers and we don't have good barrels, we don't make good whiskey. That's it. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter how good it is. If you don't have good wood, you don't have good whiskey.
Well, the other thing that we're aiming to do, of course, is when we've started this journey 5 years ago, we want to do more than just sell you a barrel. It's more. This is more than just selling you a barrel. This is a whole journey through your whiskey adventure, and we're there with you to through the tough times as well. And we won't mention names, Crafty, but you know who I helped out this week.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing. That's the sort of thing that we do. And the guy.
By the way, Mookie.
Hey?
Youngie's up to 3 swears. You haven't.
He gets a free pass.
Well, I'm trying my hardest, boys.
I know.
So the only time I really swear is when you hit your finger with the hammer, and I think that's justified. And we have a saying in the Brossa, and it goes to wine, and now it goes to whiskey. Little but often. So a little whiskey but often. So that's it's life is good, guys. It's how you embrace it and what you do.
Absolutely.
Well, mate,
that's immensely exciting.
Keep it up. Keep making those barrels. Keep toasting. Keep charring, and keep putting them out there, because there's with the breaks, with the taxation and with the excise that have been announced by the federal government. The industry is going to grow. It's going to employ people. It's going to be sustainable, and it's exciting for all of us.
Well, you made a very interesting.
Be proud of.
Yeah, I agree. You made an interesting comment before, though. I think you said something along the lines about the taxation, and people were saying perhaps the whiskey's going to be cheaper and downsizing the bottles. Well, I'll just say this nicely. You don't. If you're going to buy a good product, you got to pay for it, and that's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And no shortcuts in life. No shortcuts.
No. Craft
Seriously,
distillery.
looking forward to coming down there, Andrew.
Well, you bloody muscle up, Todd, because you're going to need it. And Luke, I reckon we'll call him Lucky Luke. How's that? And
these hands are ready to go.
Nah, guys, it's a hell of an industry, and it's all about working together and supporting one another. I'm going to leave you boys to it.
Thanks,
but that's what's on offer. And
I just before you go, Aussie Craft Distillers shooting the shit. We're building the channel. Our target is 800. It's growing. It's got momentum. We've got a lot of Australian distillers and maltsters and international distillers we're going to be talking to. This is a wild tiger, and we're going to ride it. And people like you, Andrew, you're a big part of it. We've interviewed you in the past, and we appreciate it. And spread the word, mate. And thank you for the support of the channel.
There's one last question for you, Crafty and Todd, together. Luke, you reckon he can cut it? You reckon he'll make the day? You reckon he'll? Because I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'll let him know right now. We might, Luke. Luke, how would you like to make an oval?
Ooh,
that sounds hard.
All right, so
mine's
that's what
going to start off as
a
nice round one, end up oval.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy to make a box. As long as you don't end up making a box, we'll be right. But there you go, Luke. We'll do an oval for you. How's that sound?
Beautiful.
Wow.
All right, boys. Take care.
Guys.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Thanks, Andrew. See you, mate. Take it easy.
Cheers.
See you soon.
All right, so there it is, people. One lucky person.
Subscribe below.
Subscribe below. We want to build this channel out, and
wherever the button is, just click the damn button.
Yeah, click the damn button. And so people understand, yes, I'm in Craft Works, and yes, I am Craft Works, and Todd's Craft Works. Luke's not. But this is not about Craft Works. This shooting the shit is very much about telling stories from people in the industry, predominantly Australian craft distillers. That's who we want. But we've interviewed like Andrew, who's a Cooperer. We're going to be interviewing Transwood down in Tassie. Dave, we're going to be interviewing Stu Wycross from Voyager Craft Malts shortly. We're going to be interviewing American distillers. We got lined up some Scottish distillers. This is
and you can also go through our previous interviews with Ned over in Ireland, with Rachel over in Islay. We're everywhere.
And it's a platform, predominantly for Australians. We're trying to get people to understand what's going on out there. So, a good example, we're going to be interviewing Peter Bignell. Peter Bignell he's the mad professor in our industry, respected by every craft distiller that I know, and really helpful. And so, people like that we're going to be talking to. Talking to Alex tonight was fascinating because Alex is giving a point of view and helping distillers and saying what you need to do to get your product onto bars. We're really excited about it, and we're going to continue it. And even if there's just one follower, we're going to continue. And Rosemary, I forgot about that. Thank you, Rosemary. So, Black Snake Distillery. We're going to be talking to them.
That conversation.
I want to go out there,
and that's in August.
I want to go out there and actually hack up some agave, put it in the earth oven, and
perhaps
just go through the process, or string a bit of chicken inside the still whilst they're making it. That's incredible.
Tell you what, you book a minibus, bring a crew out. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, Rosemary, absolutely. That the bottle is open. I have been restrained tonight because it is Moorish, absolutely Moorish.
All right, I'll try when I come back next week. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I've actually got
maybe Black Snake should be our first road trip.
Oh yeah,
that could be good.
We could do that.
Anyway, we're rabbiting on, guys. It's 1:10. It's time to say goodnight to everyone.
Yeah,
guys, I hope you all enjoyed it. It's Crafty signing out. It's Brady Bunch number 2 and number 3 signing out.
Thank you all.
And
Thank you, everyone.
And next week, in 2 weeks, we're looking forward to another exciting installment of Todd's 2 Seconds of Fame. And we'll see where we go. And he's now the official sound machine for
Aussie.
And so next week we're trying to talk to Bill again, aren't we?
Bill, before we go, sorry. So not
I'll bring some
week, coming week after, Bill McHenry. We had a failed attempt. I'm ready to go. Didn't quite happen. So Bill's dead keen to do it. We're keen to do it. So that's our first one for, what are we in now? June. So June. Yeah. And then we're not too sure on the next one, but
we'll line it up.
Could be Dan Woolley. Anyway,
good.
Cool. There you go.
I'm just saying it's out there. So cheers, guys.
All right. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Excellent.